Democratic Congressman Gregory Meeks from New York joins us now. And Congressman, we very much appreciate the time in what has become a historic 24-hour period. I want to ask you first about your colleague John Lewis's comments there, in which he compares the struggle now ongoing to the struggles that he experienced in Selma, and invoking the civil rights movement itself. What do you make of that?
Well, it is. It's a historic struggle to make America better. When you look at the struggle that John Lewis fought for, almost died for, to make sure that individuals had the right to vote and had civil rights and voting rights, it was not easy. It took time, but yet we persevered. Now we have the struggle to make sure that we keep guns out of the hands of terrorists and those that are on the no-fly list, and out of the hands of individuals without doing the appropriate background checks. For me, I would like to even go further. I think that we should keep these weapons of mass destruction, which are called assault weapons, these semi-automatic rifles or automatic rifles, out of the hands of individuals who are not part of our police, our military force, or our law enforcement. They don't need to have it. And so we've got to continue the struggle. The struggle has only begun, and we're no way going to give up until we have a vote and let everyone see where everyone lies, and then we're going to continue until we ultimately pass the bill so that we can protect all Americans.
How effective do you think this will be in terms of bringing that vote about?
Well, I think that this is very effective, just as what John Lewis did. It made sure that, in '63, it awoke the American people. And what this is doing is letting the American people know that we are all awake. Back in '63, we didn't have many individuals in Congress at the time that were willing to vote in the way that we needed to, so that we had to make sure that we continued to work on them. Fortunately, in 2016, we have John Lewis in Congress, and we need to work collectively together with the people on the outside. It was there was hundreds of people outside in the middle of the night last night, some still there in the rain. It is that kind of consistency and that kind of awakenedness of individuals that's going to make a difference here. And we want them to know that we're not going to sleep either. We're going to continue this battle, as John Lewis talked, on the floor of the House this week, next week, and when we get back. So in no way are we ever going to stop until we accomplish what our goal is, and that's to bring sensible gun control to the United States of America, so that we can close that loophole, that gun show loophole, which is wide open right now. It just doesn't make sense. And I think the American people already agree that it just doesn't make sense that if you go to Walmart, you will have a background check, but if you buy a gun over the internet, or if you go to a gun show, then there's no background check. That's what this bill is doing.
Congressman, polling certainly suggests that is in fact the case. 89% of Americans believe that background checks should be expanded. 92%, in fact, of Republicans. Which brings me to the question of partisan politics. Can this transcend it, considering the response of Speaker Ryan, who called this nothing more than a publicity stunt, considering what we saw with your congressional colleagues in the Senate, where a 15-hour filibuster failed to bring about any agreement? 4 amendments made it to the Senate floor, none passed. Can this transcend what clearly right now is an extraordinary example of partisan politics?
Well, I believe so. That's what makes America the greatest country this planet has seen, because what you take that was not popular and would seem to some that would not have transcended before, the will of the people will be done. That's how we've overcome and accomplished many of the things that we have already. I think that you'll see throughout America during this next week, in members' districts, in some of those Republican districts, that there's going to be loud outcries to tell them, don't let the NRA rule you. Don't let the NRA be the ones that dictate to you what you should or should not do. It should be the people. And just as you indicated, 89% of the people agree with us. 90% of Republicans said that they don't want anyone that's on the no-fly list to be able to buy a gun. 90% of Republicans. And I think that the members, when they go home over this week, they're going to hear from their people that they want a bill passed to prevent individuals on the no-fly list to be able to buy a gun. And when they come back home, that's going to make a difference, and we're going to loosen the lock that the NRA have on many of our Republican friends.
Well, you mentioned coming back home. We're now about 25 minutes shy of 22 hours that you've been on the well of the floor there with the House then in recess. How long will this go on?
Well, we know that we're going to be here at least for 24 hours, if not more. But we also know, and we're going to strategize, there will be different tactics. John Lewis talked about this last night, that we will utilize between now and when we do get back here. He mentioned how it took them 3 times to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge, that they left and then they had to come back. Well, that may be the same thing that we're going to do here. We're going to strategize, we're going to work together in a collective way, and we're going to make sure that our voices are continued to be heard, so that when we do get back and when session is open, we're going to make sure that there's an opportunity to vote. And it might be on that first vote, we don't win. At least in the Senate, they had a vote. At least in the Senate, there's still some conversation and dialogue that's going on with a possible Collins bill. But here in the House, there's no debate. And this is supposed to be the People's House. And we believe that in the People's House, we should have debate and we should have a vote. And, you know, it's a compromise by me, because the 2 bills that we're voting on, you know, I would like to go further, but I'm willing to compromise because we have a bipartisan bill. This is Peter King's bill. And other Republicans that are on it, we should be able to at least debate that on the floor.
Well, Congressman, it is certainly a powerful comparison that your colleague, Congressman Lewis, does make. And it does remain to be seen what comes to pass again. Congressman Gregory Meeks, we very much appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. Good being with you. I'm going back on the floor.
And we'll watch you do it.